The St. Louis Cardinals find a way to grab a victory from the jaws of defeat. Meanwhile, the Chicago Cubs bullpen proves we might actually need to add a couple bullpen pieces. Let's talk about it. Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Jones back again with another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Hey, listen, I appreciate each and every last one of you that are tuning into this episode of the show. Thank you so very, very much. It means the world to me. You don't know that you guys tune in, you watch, you cheer, you subscribe, and you enjoy the content. That's right. We try to put out the very best Cubs content out there available for you on the digital airwaves. So also, I want you to be a part of the conversation. How can you do that? You can do that a couple of ways. You can do that first and foremost by liking, sharing, and subscribing. But then, of course, also leaving your comments and your thoughts below. That's right. Do me a favor. If you're pissed that the Chicago Cubs, Brad Keller, dropped this game today for the Chicago Cubs, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you really feel below. Also, if you think the St. Louis Cardinals absolutely suck, please leave that comment below also. At the same time, I do also want you guys to write me at cubsbaseball1992 at gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail at 217-816-5498. You can ask any question you like, and we will feature it here on the show as a mailbag. That's right. We do mailbag episodes here. Now, with that being said, the Chicago Cubs came into a game going up against a left-handed pitcher in Libertor that I really believe the Chicago Cubs were going to end up losing this game. This game I actually had penciled in as a loss. If you watch yesterday's not live episode, if you watch yesterday's daily episode, I did go on the record of saying I did not expect the Chicago Cubs to win today. Chicago Cubs actually offensively proved me wrong. They proved me way wrong in this game. The Chicago Cubs offense literally did all that they needed to do to win this ball game. And what I mean by that is they scored more than enough runs to win this game. Unfortunately, it was a bullpen game after the announcement that Jameson Taillon was heading to the injured list and would not be pitching in this game. So that meant that the Chicago Cubs had to come up with another solution for who would pitch. And to my surprise, I thought that this would be a Jordan Wicks game completely. Instead, it turned into a bullpen game. And this could have been for a couple of reasons. I have some theories about that, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But first and foremost, this turned up to be a bullpen game. And Drew Pomeranz, who had never given up a run this season, had a 0.00 ERA, gave up 2 runs after loading the bases and then being pulled from the game. Chris Flexen would then come into the game to try to help his teammate out and keep him scoreless, but instead gave up a base hit single that would drive in 2 runs for the St. Louis Cardinals. Then Michael Busch, who has been on an absolute tear, would come in the second inning and he would homer to center. Busch has literally had given up hit a chunk of home runs. Like he was like ailing for the Chicago Cubs, and then somehow he turned it around, and now he has given up. He's I'm not giving up. He's hitting, mashing home runs as we prepare to go to Minnesota, and he prepares to go home. So that would not be the last time he would score in this game. But then after that, Gorman homered to center in the third off of Flexen. And then after that, Hap will ground out to third. Horner would score off of that. Shaw to third. Then the Cubs would load the bags up. And then Nico Horner would single to center in the 6th inning, and Kelly would score off of that. Busch would score on a wild pitch, and that would actually give the Chicago Cubs the lead 4-3. Then Carson Kelly would come behind that and hit a home run that would make it 3-5. And then Burleson homer to center that made it 4-5. Then Gorman single to left. I hate this dude's name. Sagiz, whatever it is. He scored He scored, and that would make it 5-5. And then they had a pinch hitter come up, Pozo, and he homered. And that scored Newbar and Gorman. And the Cardinals would take the lead 8-5. The Cubs would try to mount a rally in that bottom of the eighth inning, and Suzuki would double the center, and Tucker would score there. But the big blow was the ball right down the middle to Pozo that he sent out to deep. I mean, actually, it left the ballpark. Like, it actually went over the fence, out the ballpark, out into the street. So somebody got a nice souvenir out there on the street. I don't know if they wanted it or not, because the damn sure was a lot more Cub fans than Cardinal fans there. But Cardinal fans were a little loud in this game. They were a little bit rowdy. I mean, obviously after getting, belt to ass the day before, they needed to come back and show in this game, and they looked lifeless. Honestly, before Burleson's home run in the eighth inning, they looked lifeless. And like I said, to me, it looked like they were getting ready to give it up. Craig Counsell doesn't do things on purpose. I'm sorry, that take that back. Craig Counsell doesn't do things by accident. We've had a very, very, very strong bullpen for 2 months. To believe that after the Burleson home run, he thought Keller could complete everything and get out of the inning was very telling to me. And then after Gorman singled and it was 5-5 and he still kept Keller in the game was very telling to me. Pozo came up and he would hit the home run, the go-ahead home run for the Cardinals. And he still kept Keller in the game, and that was very telling to me. Now, there's two theories you can go with here. And two things might also very well be true. It could be true that in the eyes of Craig Counsell, it's just one game, which we know Craig Counsell to punt baseball games. But with a chance to sweep your divisional rival and win your 54th game of the season and really put them in the rearview mirror at 7 games back, you wonder and question to yourself, why would he leave Brad Keller in the game when he clearly did not have it and he clearly was giving up all of these runs? And so for me, my theory behind this is that Craig Counsell wanted to show Jed or make Jed aware that the Chicago Cubs might actually need a little bit more in the bullpen. And you look at these games that the Chicago Cubs have you look at the games Chicago Cubs have lost recently, and a lot of it has either been to the inability to hit the ball when they were struggling to hit. And like I said, it also could be sometimes that they just, they don't have it with the defense. My mindset out of all of this was I believe that Craig Counsell left Brad Keller in the game to show that the Chicago Cubs need more in the pitching department. The Chicago Cubs need more in the pitching department from the bullpen. And I think that this highlights that. Like, don't get comfortable thinking that you could just go, from Thielbar to Keller, to Palencia to Hodge, or from Hodge to Presley, or however you want to do it. Like, yeah, those guys have arms, and yeah, those guys are good. And I do think that probably tomorrow's game, you will see Brad Keller pitch again, probably tomorrow's game, because another thing Craig Counsell is known to do is he is known to trot you right back out there the next inning. The next day, if he can, or if it's close, or if it makes sense, in order for you to get another opportunity at the bite of the apple. So, very well, we could very well absolutely see Brad Keller in the game tomorrow. But at the same time, you look at this and you say to yourself, I just believe I might be a council mark or something like that, or I'm saying somebody that just believes in Craig Counsell maybe a little bit too much, supports him a little bit too much, but I full on believe that Craig Counsell did this on purpose. He left him in the game on purpose, even after the game was tied, because if I'm not mistaken, he had faced more than enough people. So Burleson homered, and then Gorman singled. and there were already 2 guys on. So he had already seen 3 batters. So there was an opportunity to pull him from the game after that game was tied before Pozo came up to hit. Yet he left him in the game. I'll be curious to see what Craig Counsell says or explains was his reasoning behind that. But besides that, I do think that the Chicago Cubs do not want us to get comfortable. Do not want us to get comfortable and just, figure that we have what we have in the bullpen and that's it. If you really want to be serious about this game, and yeah, it's just one game, it's not the end of the world. I'm really not even sweating it because, like I told you guys, I had this marked as an L anyways. In my mind, the Chicago Cubs were not going to win this game. So the fact that they had the chance to win it in itself is gravy. And the fact that the offense did enough really to win this game is even better. It just sucks that our bullpen couldn't hold on and then put us in position to get the sweep and really send the Cardinals into sell mode at the deadline. I do still think the Cardinals probably should. Unfortunately, they probably won't because they're stupid, but I do think they should be in sell mode at the deadline. Now, unfortunately for them, they can't sell Arenado because he has a no trade clause because he should have been gone along with Goldschmidt 2 years ago. Both of them should have been gone. The Cardinals should be in full rebuild mode right now. Unfortunately, they're holding on to pieces that isn't going to amount to much. They can go on a run. It won't amount to much. They won't win the World Series. They probably won't even win a division. I give the Brewers a better chance than them to win the division. But with that being said, as a Cub fan, and as this is a Cubs podcast, the Chicago Cubs do need to add on more to that bullpen, and it was highlighted in this game. So tomorrow the Chicago Cubs will go up against those same St. Louis Cardinals. This game will be on ESPN. First pitch is at 5:10. It'll be Fetty going up against our stud, Matthew Boyd. Fetty has a ERA of 4.56. Last time he faced Chicago Cubs a week ago, they touched him all the way up. It was not pretty at all. Matthew Boyd, I don't think Matthew Boyd faced the Cardinals last time they played. But anyways, Matthew Boyd, who has been on a tear, looks to continue his dominance with a 2.65 ERA, literally making himself, trying to make his case to be somebody that should be an all-star this year. So Chicago Cubs will look to go ahead and win this series against the Cardinals with a day off on Monday. Monday's episode is going to be fun. I want to plan something fun for you guys on Monday. It's going to be a longer episode, but I do want to plan something fun for you guys. And then once we hit All-Star break, I think I want to try to set something up with Kev and do something together. Also, be on the lookout. I'm gonna try. I'm making no promises, but I'm gonna try to do a live stream, a live call episode this week. Those games start at 6:40, respectively, Tuesday and Wednesday against the Minnesota Twins. And then Friday against the Yankees is a 6:05. Saturday is a 12:05, and then Sunday is a 12:35 against the Yankees. And then the Cubs go on the All-Star break. So we'll just have to see what happens. I will let you guys know about that. But let me know. Comment below. What are your thoughts? Do you guys think Craig Counsell left Brad Keller in the game on purpose? Do you think that it was a purposeful move to show Jed Hoyer that he needs more, or am I absolutely outside of my mind? And if the Chicago Cubs do need to add more pitching to the bullpen, I mean, who's out there? Who's out there that we can add? So I appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs and the official voice of the Chicago Cub fan. Until next time, I appreciate you all. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the number one spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.